Don't forget to check out my Patreon where we have exclusive videos, link in description. We are doing NCT World 2.0, NCT Dream Mental Camping, Level Up Project, all seasons, Blackpink House, Twice TV, 16. We had Kingdom, Knowing Bros, Running Man, K-Dramas, and Hypen, GOT7, 17, and so much more. So link in description down below. Hey guys, Angie here, and today we have a deep dive with Loona. So I do watch Form of Therapy and stuff, and I forgot what I was watching. I actually realized while recording this, and I think I mentioned it at the end, Form of Therapy, I believe, goes by they, them pronouns, so apologies for using the wrong pronouns in the beginning of the video. But he mentioned meeting Loona, and then he mentioned this. Now, since I do watch Form of Therapy, I've seen him do deep dives of like EXO and stuff. But essentially what he usually would mean by that, like these are older videos, is he would listen to B-side tracks of groups that he doesn't stan. So he didn't stan EXO, so he would do a deep dive basically of like listening to their B-sides. And I ignored these videos because I kind of thought that's what these were. But these are actually very deep interviews with the members, and he did one with Ace. I might do that one too. But I was like, oh, this is really cool because I like seeing this side of idols, and a lot of interviews you don't get those questions of like how their mind is and stuff. And I feel like it'd be very interesting to watch this video. I don't know if this is gonna get many views, but I wanted to watch it, might as well react to it. And because especially we need more Loona content, so I was like, okay, we're gonna do this. They do have vlogs and stuff, so I might do some of those. I forgot what they're called. I have the playlist though, so we might start doing those, but not quite right now until I finish something else. But we're gonna get there. And yeah, so he did say he found Eve to be the most he found her answers to be the most meaningful and deep and stuff. And then he says something like Go-won looks like an actual like avatar or something in real life. Like she looks so fake because she's just so beautiful. And then he said Chu was literally the exact same off camera and everything. So I'm intrigued to see what Eve has to say because, you know, she's my girl. So the fact that he said he had the most like fun talking to her, something like the most, not fun, but he found she seemed so smart and intelligent, and her speaking, something along those lines, like he just really liked how she spoke. And another interviewer was there and he said the same thing. They were like, oh, Eve, she's interesting. And I see that from her. I see that. I'm not too surprised. So I'm intrigued what they're gonna ask. And he said it was hard they had limited time, so he didn't get to do as many questions as he wanted. He had a whole list and he barely did half of them. But, you know, they only had like, I think 2 hours to film. So with that in mind, of course, 2 hours, like you're not going to get much time to have a whole deep conversation. I wish, but you know. Anyways, let's hop into the video. All right. Ooh, this is really well done. Oh, I also, just so you guys know what I've been doing, because I've been watching Loona stuff on my own, things that I wouldn't react to. So I watched this video, it's called like Loona Iceberg, which I just caught like a lot of like inside things. I was like, oh, cool. I got some, not like inside jokes, but like inside knowledge of the group. So like it's Iceberg, so it's like the most well-known things, which I already knew, like the colors and animals. And then each time you go down, it's different. And I thought that was really cool. Like I got to learn about their weird merch and like just like I can't remember everything, but like if I see something that would have to do with that, I would be able to now pick it up because I watched that video. It was like 50 minutes, so I was not going to react to that ever. And then not the downfall of Loona, but like it was a video having to do with the situation of Loona and the company, because I knew about it, but that video helped me grasp it more, like people leaving the company and stuff like that. They're supposed to have a ballad album and that never happened. Like I know those things now and I feel very educated because I can tell the girls apart now, but there are still like little facts that I can never know without being told it, because that's a lot of groups have that. So like if you're not there from debut era, you'll slowly pick up on things that were like known back then, but as time goes on that fades, and if you don't already know it, you're gonna kind of just have to look it up yourself, but sometimes you don't even know what to look up. So that those videos helped a lot. So I learned a lot about Loona in the past week.
저는 우선 음악을 할 때 가장 행복했었던 것 같아요. 무대에 이제 오르기 전에 긴장감, 무대가 끝난 뒤에 그 아쉬움 그런 느낌들도 굉장히 즐겼었던 것 같고 되게 음악을 하면서 저한테 위로가 되게 많이 됐던 것 같아요.
노래 부를 때만 느낄 수 있는 그런 벅참이 있어서 이 기분을 평생 놓기 싫다라는 생각에 가수의 길을 선택하게 돼요. 저는 어렸을 때 이제 어머니 친구분의 권유로 이번에 6살 때 처음 갔었거든요. 그래서
Oh, thank you to Olivia's mom's
하다
friend.
보니까 자연스럽게 가수의 꿈을 갖게 된 것 같아요. 약간 한국어를 좀 많이 보는 그런 의미도 있고 그리고 약간 한국
I'm always intrigued by the foreign members and how they get into it.
보면은 뭔가 춤추면서 노래도 많이 하고 그러니까
Yeah.
약간 좀 더 약간 전달하는 거 좀 더 많이 받을 수 있는 것 같은 느낌?
The captions are, I don't know if you guys can read them. They're kind of, they got darker for some reason. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I just want you guys to be able to read the captions. Because it's fine by me, but... where's the opacity? There. Yeah, why is it so dark? Well, that is way better. There you guys go.
약간 그런 거 때문에
I hate when it, like, you guys can't read it, you know?
하는 거 좋아했어요.
저는 제 목소리를 정말 사랑하거든요. 제
You still looks really pretty here.
목소리가 제 귀에 들어오는 것도 정말
Ooh,
너무
confidence.
사랑하기 때문에 약간 이 직업을 선택하고 지금을 행복하게 하고 있잖아요.
Oh, that's a good question.
많아가지고 그 중에 저는 저희 이달의 소녀가 데뷔 콘서트를 한 적 있어요. 데뷔콘 때 이제 저희가 뒤에서
I want to watch it, but I guess they never, like, recorded it.
첫 번째 무대를 했을 때
I can only find the online one, which we're going to react to, but it'll be on Patreon.
서로 이렇게 눈빛을 주고 받으면서 심장 뛰는 소리나 숨소리 이런 걸 느낄 수 있었을 때 이게 진짜 데뷔구나.
그때 아무래도 소리가 되게 컸어요. 근데 저희가 진짜 엄청 오랜 시간 동안 오빛들이 기다려주시기도 했었고 그래서 저희가 되게 뭔가 미안한 마음도 있었고 그리고 너무 고마운 그 마음이 있었는데 그 소리를 딱 듣고 나니까 되게 뭔가 긴장됐던 마음도 확 풀리면서 너무 고맙더라고요. 그래서 더 열심히 진짜 해야겠다.
Their concert must have been so interesting.
그래도 제 꿈을 이룬
I wonder, I'm sure I can find the set list. I'm wondering what the set list was like, because they did a debut concert pretty late in their career. Not like super late, but like compared to a lot of groups that have their debut concerts like pretty early on, because their situation was so different. I'm wondering, did they all do their solo songs? Because that would be, because I know they definitely did some. I've seen clips of them singing their solo songs, and I'm wondering, that's already 12 songs. That's a lot of songs. And then I think they did some unit songs. But I guess they didn't have a lot of songs at the time as a group, so I can see it working out. It's either a very long concert or kind of like what 17 did, where it's like a 2-day concert. It's interesting.
때가 제일 기억에 남는 것 같아요. 저희가 유닛으로 먼저 음악 방송에 섰는데 그때 이제 데뷔를 했었.
Oh wait, I missed the first line.
첫 음악 방송 때가
Oh, because I was like, what? But I think they never got to do they did their music broadcast debut stages or whatever you want to call them, with their units, not themselves. Which I guess that makes sense. It would be a lot of money for all 12 of them to have like
제일 기억에 남는 것 같아요.
a debut like
유닛으로
showcase
먼저 음악 방송에 섰는데
stage.
그때 이제 데뷔를 했다는 게 실감나고
I didn't even think they did it as units. I thought they just did it
되게
their
신기하면서
stage
되게
as a group.
설레고 되게 행복했던 것 같아요.
저는 아무래도 이달의 소녀 멤버들 중에서 가장 오랜 연습생을 했는데요. 그때 이제 저는
Hyunjin's backstory was so interesting.
정말 생각도 못했어요.
Like in
저희가
Mix 9
너무
stuff.
기다림이 많았어서 근데 이제 저희가 한 명씩 데뷔를 했는데 그때 이제 첫 멤버가 제가 아니라 희진이가 돼가지고 저는 데뷔를 정말 못할 줄 알았거든요. 그런데 제가 딱
That must
두
have been so
번째 멤버로
heartbreaking.
뽑혀가지고 그때
Why did I say it
정말
like that?
행복했던 기억이 나요.
데뷔 초반 때
God, I love Hyunjin.
처음에 편지 받았는데
Oh,
그때가 진짜
that's always probably so exciting.
한 번은 못 볼 수 있는 사람인데 근데 이렇게 사람
I wonder if that person knows it's
되게
them.
많은 이야기 해주니까 그래서 되게 많이 힘도 받고 위로도 받고 사랑도 받아서 그래서 되게
I wonder, do idols still get fan letters?
사실 한 가지를 꼽으라면 좀 어려워서 좀 통틀어서 말하면 저의 노래와 아니면 무대 아니면 저의 그냥 모든 모습들을 좋아해 주시는 오비분들이 이렇게 마음으로 이렇게 느껴질 때 실감날 때라고 해야 되나요? 그럴 때마다 굉장히 감사드리고 행복해지는 것 같아요.
많은 순간이 있지만 저는 지금이라고 생각을
I remember also from a therapy, they said that Yejin was the most like mature. And I always find that interesting because like I believe that as the maknae, I feel like you have to be like extra mature almost. Like you have to very much because you don't want to be seen as like a child or someone to be taken care of. So I always feel like they very much grow and they have to grow faster. It's almost like when you're it's a little opposite, but I think you might understand what I mean. Like when you're the oldest of the family and maybe your parents are working, you have, even though like you're 10, you have to take care of like your siblings. It's like almost the opposite of that, but almost the same way because she doesn't have her parents with her, living with her. So she had to kind of grow, you had to like grow up faster. And I feel like the maknaes, though they're seen as the babies of the group and stuff, and we all go, oh, they're so babied by the group members, they're always like being extra taken care of. You could still see they are way more mature than they probably should be. You know, like they should be able to be like kids, but they have the sense of maturity when they need to, and it's like twice their age, and it's very interesting because they don't want to. I think most maknaes don't want to guilt anyone into like taking care of them and stuff like that, or like be seen differently because they're so young, even though they should be. I mean, if you're like 15, you should be treated like you're 15, but in the industry you don't want to be treated that way. It's a really weird area. Yeah.
항상 저희를 사랑해주시는 팬분들과 함께 이렇게 지금 순간을 보낼 수 있는 지금이 너무 행복한 순간인 것 같아요.
What would it feel like? What did it feel like? Oh, was there in KCON maybe?
해외에도 오빗이 있을까라는 생각을 많이
Oh, sweetie.
들었었어요. 그런 생각이 실감이 잘 안 났었는데
Oh, sweetie. Yeah, no idea.
가보니까
I think
너무 많이
Loona. Wow, I'm pausing so much. You hate me. I'm so sorry. Loona was a group I somehow heard of. Like in America, like verbalized that name Loona. I've heard that name before hearing Twice or like Blackpink or Red Velvet even. Like I've heard that name spoken in person out loud more than like now maybe no even now I don't hear anyone saying Blackpink or Twice. Like but I've heard Loona. Like a coworker of mine is an ARMY and I was going to a Monsta X concert, so my mom, being my mom, she mentioned it to the friend because she's like, "Oh, K-pop is like she likes BTS. Surely she likes Monsta X too." Like I don't know. My mom just thinks if you like one Korean, you like all Koreans. I don't know, you know. But she mentioned it to her, and she likes girl groups, and specifically she said she liked Loona, and that's the first time I've heard of Loona. And then when I was at concerts and stuff, we mentioned other groups, and most of these like I saw 17, Monsta X, and BTS. They mainly are boy group stands, which I don't really care. But I know some people are like, oh, they only like boys, misogynistic. I don't quite understand that logic, but whatever. There's also girl group stands who don't like guy groups. It's weird. I never understood. But then if they did like a girl group, it'd always be Loona. I didn't hear any other names dropped really. It was always Loona. Like Loona, and this was when before I ever listened to Loona because I've listened to them since last year. So it was just an interesting little. Like, they are always name dropped, and I don't think they understand just how. Like, I'm not sure what the like statistics are, but I feel like they're very popular
실감이
overseas.
잘 안 났었는데 실제로 가보니까 너무 많은 팬분들이 기다려주시는
I also think KCON probably helped a lot too.
감사했고
우리나라에서 했던 콘서트와는 좀 다르게
Mm-hmm.
환호도 너무 열심히 해주셨고 처음 하는 거에 불구하고 모두 같은 한 마음이 돼서 저의 노래를 좀 따라 불러주시고 그리고
Well, she's so pretty
열심히
here.
저희를 약간 응원해 주시는 모습이
It's so cool probably to see them singing, even though they don't know the language. They always say that, and I always
해외에
agree.
계신 오비분들이
Yeah.
언어가 통하지 않기에 우리가 마음이 더 통한다고 생각을 하거든요. 정말 온전히 마음으로 통하는 사람들을 생각을
That's such a beautiful way of saying that. Because if you meet an idol and you don't speak Korean, or if they're Chinese or Japanese, if you don't speak any other languages, it's like you can just feel like that love regardless. And I think that's even deeper. Because you can, like, I can love, like, Ariana Grande, but I can also talk to her. Like, if I ever met her, I could verbalize to her, and it's almost like a pretty surface level love. But if I met, like, Eve on the street, I mean, I think she speaks a little English, but, like, let's say she can't speak any, I can express my excitement to her regardless, and it's like just the same amount of love, but without speaking. I don't know. It's almost like when someone maybe is. This is almost romanticizing it, but like if someone's maybe deaf and they are dating someone who doesn't speak sign language or anything, but they can still express their love. It's not the same, but it's just like that extra level of like love. Because I've seen so many people say I can't even understand what they're saying. Like if somebody doesn't have English subs, but I can still understand what they're saying. And I can agree. Sometimes I would watch something and not even realize the subtitles are on, but I can almost like understand what that idol is saying just because I know their body language and expressions a bit. It's so beautiful.
되게 저희가 가겠다는 약속을 지키고 싶다라는 생각이 들고
우리가 사실 마지막 무대에서 굉장히 감동을 받고 이제 내려오기 직전에 눈물이 나더라고요. 굉장히 많은 해외 관객분들께서 일어나서 막 춤도 춰주시고
They do that, yes.
조금 불렀는데도 이제 되게 다 따라해 주시고 다 이렇게 응원봉도 흔들어 주시는 그런 모습들이 너무 예쁘게 기억이 나는 것 같아요. 그리고 정말 잊을 수 없던
They're high bongs. Sorry.
아니요 그건 약간 예상이 됐던 것 같아요. 아이튠즈
Well, you can never understand until you see it.
되게 사진을 많이 한 거는 저희도 되게 많이 보고
Mm.
항상 소식으로는 항상 많이 접했는데 뭔가 이거를
Yeah,
미국에
but until you
계신
see it.
분들을 통해서 항상 저희가 듣다 보니까 이게 현실로 실감을 하지 못했었거든요.
콘서트까지에서도 저희를 그렇게 응원해 주시는 분들이 많이 오실 거라고는 약간 예상을 못했어가지고 그게 너무 감동이
Oh, sweetie.
그랬는데 이제 가서
We go hard
공항에서
for
저희가
our
뭔가
faves.
실감했을 때 아, 우리가 이 정도인가? 약간 이렇게 뭔가 신기함? 약간 그런 게 있었던 것 같아요. 그래서 너무 신기했는데 무대에서 진짜 다들 진짜 너무 감사하게도 막 서서 막 춤도 같이 춰주시고 막 노래도 같이 불러주시고 막 이런 걸 봤을 때 너무 감사한 마음? 그게 너무 컸었던 것 같아요. 그리고 아무래도 좀 자주 못 뵈다 보니까 먼저 와주시는 분들도 좀 많았거든요. 팬사인회 같은데. 그래서 그분들이 너무 감사하고 저희가 자주 갔으면 좋겠다라는 마음이 좀 많이 컸던 것 같아요.
유튜브 뭐 이런 SNS 영상 업로드로 되게 응원하는 그런 영상도 많이 남겨주셨거든요. 그래도 고객분들이 많이 계시구나라고 약간 느낌?
Aw, she's so
실제로 이렇게
cute.
만나뵐 수 있었어서 너무 값진 경험이었던 것
I really like this interview.
알게 된 느낌? 처음 느끼는
I've already heard the answer to this one from Hyunjin.
이 시절을 루나라는 그림의 한 색채로 이제 제가 보낼 수 있다는 게 너무 영광이고 무엇보다 가끔은 너무 익숙해서 잊어버릴 만큼 멤버들이 의지가 되는 거 제가 혼자 있으면 되게 차분해지고 걱정도 많고 막 눈물도 많은 편인데 멤버들
Mm.
있음으로써 제가 좀 더 긍정적이고 되게 좋은 사람이
That's why I
되는
always
것
think
같아서
groups are better than
저는
solo. Like, not like literally, like, oh, their music is better, but like being in a group, I think, is better than being a solo artist for your mental health and like your mentality and your willpower. Like, and I know there's like that sense of reliance. Like, she just said she becomes like a bit, not anxious, she said, like, yeah, like she's very much clearly reliant on the other members. But I think I'd rather them be reliant on each other than them struggling on their own, if that makes sense. Like, it's because they have someone going through the exact same thing to most of the degree, like the exact same journey as each other. Even though, like Hyunjin just said earlier, she was the trainee the longest, so it's not like the exact same, but the journey of debut to now is the same. Though some have more opportunities, some have busier schedules, but you can at least have people with you and you have dorms and you're living together. Even though that can cause issues, it also can cause a sense of like moral support. I just think it's better. Like, I always worry. Like, that's why I think a lot of American artists have struggled so much or had mental breakdowns, got addicted to drugs. Very deep subject right now. But, like, it's because they didn't have someone with them on that journey or anyone there protecting them or helping them or talking to them. And you can't always, not every group's going to have that moral support. Like, maybe some people won't be as close, but you at least have the option. Like, because Justin Bieber's like the biggest example. He was a solo artist since 13 and he didn't have any 13-year-old friends. He had 20-year-old friends. No surprise that he would get on this path. Like, there's no surprise in me. Like, that makes sense. But like, if you look at One Direction, sure, like, there are some issues with some of the members, but you can see their mentalities definitely better than Justin Bieber's, because they, even though there apparently were some issues in the group, they, for the most part, were able to talk to each other and stuff, and even to this day, still have a bit of like that companionship. And I think that helps you because you have that friendship, even if maybe it's not as close as like a K-pop group. And I think like groups are just so much better, way better. Like, you need someone around your age with you, and it's going to be hard to make friends outside of a group, like if you're a solo artist, because you won't have like that trust already there.
걱정도 많고 막 눈물도 많은 편인데 멤버들이 있음으로써 제가 좀 더 긍정적이고 되게 좋은 사람이 되는 것 같아서
Yeah, like good influence too.
데뷔를 할 것 같고 조금 더 열심히 해서 더 멋있는
I remember Hyunjin says no, but I think she was joking. But even if she's not, I don't blame her. Mm.
무대에서의 행복감도 느껴봤고 팬분들의 사랑을 받는 것을 경험을 했다 보니까
It's worth it.
그걸 또 느낄 수 있게 이 직업을 다시 돌아가도 저는 데뷔를 할 것 같아요. 제 희망이라고 생각하기 때문에 다시 돌아가도 이달의 소녀를 꼭 데뷔하고 싶습니다.
가수를 안 했다면 후회는
I do wonder if some of them are lying.
했을 것 같아요. 근데 저는 일단
Like, I can't trust them right now because they're on camera, they have their company. But I would not blame them if they said no, considering their company. But I do think most of them are being honest just because they have the members. Like, if they were in a different group, I don't think they would.
꿈을 더
I think, but like under the same company, they probably would say no.
프로듀서나 아니면 작곡가나 작사가에도 도전해보고 싶은데
Okay, Queen.
그래도 이달의 소녀의 멤버로 데뷔할
Like, I would not
수
blame
있어서
Vivi if she said no.
특별한 일이에요. 저한테도 특히 제가 한국 사람 아니다 보니까 약간 더
That's very true.
것 같아요. 이달의 소녀가 됐기 때문에 모비즈를 만날 거라고 생각이 들어서 그래서 당연히 이제 모비즈를 만날 수 있는 이달의 소녀가 될 것 같습니다.
저는 군인이 되고 싶습니다. 네.
This is the clip
네, 제가
that they
활동적이고
mentioned.
힘쓰는 걸 되게 좋아해서 군인이 되고 싶다는 생각을 해봤었어요.
저는 오빛도 이달의 소녀라고 생각합니다. 저희가 그냥 하나라고 생각이 들기 때문에 오빛도 이달의 소녀고 저희도 오빛이고 저희는 하나입니다.
오빛분들은 제 꿈이라고
Gohan has such a beautiful speaking voice.
오빛분들의 응원이 없었다면 지금 많이 지치고 힘들었을
Well, like in a literal sense, you cannot have one without the other. Well, maybe you can technically have Loona, but you kind of can't because, I mean, I guess you could, but the sentiment of that, like you cannot have one without the other.
서로가 아닌가. 근데 오빛은 제가 이제 힘을 주기 때문에
Like especially for Loona, like if they did not have the fan base, they would be literally nothing.
과 무지개
But talent without
있어야
any
저를 이제 밝혀주잖아요. 그리고 무지개는
meaning, sadly.
행복하고 뭔가 약간 사랑 가득 약간 이런 이미지가 떠올라는데 그것 때문에
I love the way she
아마
expresses herself. She's very,
저는
she's very cute.
동반자라고 표현을 하는데 아무래도 회사
She is friend zoned. Just kidding. A baby.
동반자라는
원동력이라고 생각합니다. 왜냐면 차도
오케이.
좋은 기름을 넣으면 정말 차가 잘 굴러가듯이 저한테 오빛은 정말 힘들고 지칠 때 많이 힘이 되는 그런 부분.
저희 나라에 사계절이 있으니까 모든 계절을 느낄 수 있는 거에 저는 되게 감사하거든요. 그래서 오빛들을 사계절이라고 저는
예전에
That's such a
지문이었다라는
cute way of
생각을
saying
되게
it.
많이 했었는데 이게 지문이 사람의 신체 부위에서 없어서는 안 될 존재이기도 하고 또 이 지문으로 인해서 내가 누군지 이제 확인이 되잖아요. 약간 그런 것 같아요.
I was gonna say like it's
오빛이
one of a
있어서
kind.
우리가 존재할 수 있듯이 그리고 저는 되게 오빛 덕분에 제가 누군지 많이 알아가고 느꼈거든요.
천사 언제나 보더라도 뭔가 행복하는 느낌 드니까 그래서 저도 오빛들이 볼 때마다 약간 이런 느낌 받고 천사는 항상 바로 곁에 있는 거 아니지만 그래도 항상 마음속에 있으니까
They're very beautiful. This is why we need to allow them to be lyricists and stuff. Like they have such a way with words. They speak from the heart. They're very
생각하는
God.
거
Stan Loona. Literally.
목표라고
Same.
생각해요. 왜냐면 제가 평소에도 어떤 것을 한다고 했을 때 오빛분들이 어떤 걸 좋아하실지 아니면 어떤 걸 원할지 이런 걸 약간 생각하면서 하게 되더라고요. 그래서 또 제가 꿈이 꾸는 게 오빛분들에게 자랑스러운 가수가 되자 하는 거여서 꿈을 꾸기 때문에 목표라고 생각합니다.
저는 이름처럼 빛입니다. 오빛이 없었다면 저는 이런 말을 하기 좀 그렇지만 뭔가 아무것도 아니었을 것 같아요. 왜냐면 사실 일상생활에서도 빛이 없다면 아무것도 안 보이잖아요. 그것처럼 무대에서도 제가 만약에 오빛이 없었다면 빛은 제가 봤지만 아무것도 안 보였을 것 같은 느낌?
Yeah, that's what like they could exist, but they would almost sadly in the broad spectrum of things be considered a meaningless like group. If you don't have fans, the artist is basically empty. Like you can create art, but it's almost like that if a tree falls into like the forest, does it make a sound? Like obviously it does, but it's almost like they can exist, but is it very validating or even real if no one's heard them? That's kind of like so that's why you need a fandom to have something to be a fan of. Like otherwise it's almost like you don't even exist. People can make music, but are you really like a musician if no one's heard your work? Yeah, but you gotta kind of it almost validates the artist, which is kind of a sad thing, but it brings the artist motivation and stuff too.
이달의 소녀가 빛이 나고 그리고 오빛도 빛나고 그다음에 서로서로
오빛은
한국말로 했을 때 말 그대로 빛이라는 뜻을 갖고 있는 것처럼 저희는 빛이기도 하지만 또 한편으로는 어둠인 것 같기도 해요. 이게 되게 의아하게 들리실 수도 있겠지만 사실 빛이 너무 밝으면
Me, whenever I say anything. I know this could be kind of a bad thing, but
되게 까마득하게 느껴지기도 하거든요. 그런 의미에서
Yoongi from BTS, he said something like the brighter the light, the darker the shadow. I can't quote the king, like he said it better, but it was something like, because he was talking about how they've gotten so famous, but like the bigger the fame and the brighter the light, the darker the shadow is, and it was something along those lines, and it kind of reminded me of that. And I think it's a very beautiful, bittersweet thing, and she's kind of saying that in a similar way.
까마득하게 느껴지기도 하거든요. 그런 의미에서 어두운 것도 있지만 사람이 눈을 감으면은 까맣게 보이잖아요.
But it's almost like you need to experience sadness to truly feel happiness too. So
저에게는 이제 그 제 자신만을 볼 수 있게 하는 온전히 저일 수 있게 해주는 고마운 존재 이런 의미에서 어두움이다.
일단 너무 많이 좀 오래 기다리고 있는
also sasaengs.
저희 금방 갈 테니까 조금만
The
더
sasaengs wouldn't
기다려주셔서
really be orbits if we're being honest, but
정말 이번에 저희가 LA에 처음으로 해팬을
are they drilling upstairs? It's 9 p.m. Do you hear that? Rude. We're almost done. Okay.
LA에서 정말 많은 힘을 받고 되게 많은 울림을 받았다 해야 하나?
Oh, she has such pretty eyes.
우리 이렇게 응원해 주시는 분들이 많구나. 이만큼 우리가 또 힘을 얻어갈 수 있구나라는 그런 울림을 많이 받아서 숫잡에서 함께 사랑을 나누도록 해요.
Beautiful. This was a beautiful interview. I also want to apologize because I think I've called PD him, and I believe he goes by. So, oh gosh, I am so sorry. It's force of habit. I am so sorry. I believe PD goes by they them pronouns. I do not remember them saying this because I mainly just watch their like reactions and stuff, and PD's never really like. I've never seen them outright say their pronouns, but I think someone corrected another person and said that PD goes by they, them. So I think I've accidentally, I just did too, said he. My apologies. I'm truly sorry. I don't ever speak of PD out loud, so I've never had to address them by any pronouns, so I think just naturally said it, but apologies for that. Regardless, so they made a beautiful interview. I will be watching the Ace one. I will probably react to it too. But that was beautiful. I've watched serious Loona stuff because I've watched Hyojin and Gowan's interviews a while ago, but they were the only members who had it. I wish we had more Eve and Hyojin and Cherry, because I believe PD said they were very interesting to speak to, and I think they also said dang, was another member, Hyojin maybe, that they had very interesting answers and stuff, but you had to compact it down, so sadly we didn't get in. Also time restraints. I wish it was a longer interview. I wish it was like 30 minutes long. I made the video 30 minutes because it was a very interesting topics that we brought up. They were very much similar to and like questions you would get in other interviews, but they were allowed to answer them with a freedom of mind and knowing, because I believe PD said this is a serious interview, speak from the heart and stuff, and I think that allowed the members to answer as lengthy as they want, as deeply as they want, without feeling maybe restraints or like anything like that, and I think that was really nice. So sorry this video is like twice as long as the actual video, but we had a lot to talk about, and I love Loona and I love hearing what they have to say. So beautiful interview, probably my favorite Loona interview ever. Oh, I think I also, it wasn't a serious interview, but it was only a few of the members. I think it was like Jinsol, Eve, didn't go on? I don't remember, but it's in my Loona playlist. I did another interview, which is where I kind of fell in love with Eve, because it kind of happened out of nowhere. Vivi was like my old bias for a hot minute, and then Eve took over after that specific interview. So it was very much a nice interview, at least. I think I didn't like the interviewer too much. It wasn't his fault. I don't remember, but I think something like that. I didn't like something about the interview, but it was very minimal. But yeah, that is it for this interview and this video. And we'll be doing other Loona stuff. I watched Edward Avila's video too on my own, so we can't react to that one. But yeah, we have a few things for Loona to do. I didn't post my music video reaction quite yet for the Hula Hoop song, but that will go up. So we have 2 videos up in the past probably week for Loona, so we're getting back to it. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5.